I don't know what their end game is. Just like I didn't know what Liv's end game was. Like, where are you trying to get this thing? And then Liv has continued to succeed in its own way and keep growing and grabbing players. So maybe TGL is going to do the same thing.
Fore-play, by Barstool Sports. We got everybody back. We're back from Hawaii. We're on the mainland, and Florida Trent is making his first, I feel like, official appearance on the show. Welcome, Florida Trent.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here. Yeah, my trip back from Hawaii was a little bit more difficult than flying into like a major airport. When you fly from New York or you fly into New York, it's pretty easy. And I know we all had some rough trips back, Frankie especially, but like when you're flying to the Palm Beach airport, you got to make 4 connections. They're like, why are you trying to go from Lihu, Hawaii to Palm Beach airport? So it took a little bit longer, but I'm here. I'm very happy. I'm excited. I know Frankie mentioned the cord on my TV there.
Gotta get it out of there.
I'm sorry, it's not my house. I'm renting it. I don't think I can put holes in the wall of a place that I'm renting, so I'll have to hit up my landlord. But no, it's great. It's beautiful. It's sunny out, and I'm happy to be here. How are you guys?
Well, the TV's being hung, right? So there's holes in the wall.
Yeah.
So you just toss that right in there, right where the holes are for the TV, and you just pop that sucker in.
It's not something I'm going to be able to do because it's like if I try to do that by myself, it's going to fall and I'm going to break it, and then I have to call my landlord and be like, "I busted your big ass TV." But
it's just such a nice setup. That's all I'm saying. It's just so nice, I don't know. It's just it drives me crazy just seeing that one wire down there. It's like it's being held down by like a mouse or something. He's just like he's holding a balloon.
I got a link I'll send you.
Yeah, I mean we're not in Hawaii anymore, that's for sure.
No.
Had my sprinklers blown out this morning. You're just like back to just suburban Long Island life. You're not waking up to the ocean, the Pacific Ocean anymore. But what a trip it was. We went right to pickleball, which was probably the best pickleball day we had yet. We had Borrelli's there. The vibes were off the charts. We went all day long until like 7:00 at night, right into a Yankees clinching game, going to the World Series for the first time since 2009 for myself. It's very, very exciting. I haven't really been in New York for most of the playoffs. I mean, that was probably the first game that I was back for, and I barely got back to my house in time to watch it. So yeah, it's been exciting. I really feel like I haven't been in the mix, which is bizarre. Like we were on crazy flights during all the games. I was watching it on my phone. I haven't heard that that jingle, like that playoff jingle. I know they haven't been on Fox, they've been on TBS, but like last night watching the Mets, you hear that Fox playoffs jingle, and it brings you back to all the rooms that you watched it in when you were younger. Like for me, I immediately remember being at my dad's friend's house. Mike Russo used to go in his basement, huge Yankees basement, all these huge like fat heads and everything. So like you just get transported back to your old self. Playoff baseball for me, it's my whole childhood. So and I tweeted this. There's something about the Yankees right now. They're wearing these old school turtlenecks, and I saw a report that they actually like went into a box and got the late 90s turtlenecks. I don't know if that was a troll.
Whoa.
That could have been someone just being like, oh, they actually grabbed like Derek Jeter's old turtleneck. There's no chance that that's real, but if it is, dude, they literally are the same ones that like Chuck Knobloch, Derek Jeter, like A-Rod. It's the real high turtleneck with the Yankee logo on the neck. They haven't worn that shit in forever. And you got Volpe running around with it. You got Stanton running around with it. They look incredible. It's just, I feel like I'm watching a old VHS of the 1999 World Series in real time. I really feel like it.
This Yankees team is incredible to me because I basically follow the Yankees through you, through Tommy Smokes, through Hubs, through the people at Barstool. And you could have told me 3 months ago that this was the worst team on planet Earth because they were calling for Cashman and Boone's head. And now all of a sudden they just won the ALCS and they're head of the World Series. I get that that's fandom. I get that that's sports, but it really felt like 4, 5, 6 months ago, the New York Yankees were the worst team in baseball just based on how the tweets were coming out and the way that they were worded. And now they're in the World Series. So this has got to feel great.
Well, they had the best record in baseball, and then they went on, I believe they were under 500 for a long stretch. Like going into the playoffs, it was like an under 500 team. So the bullpen was pretty rough. They ended up, fixing it towards the end of the season, but bullpen was rough. And now you got guys like Weaver and Coles. And Clay Holmes is pitching great. And it's definitely going to be tough against the Dodgers. They absolutely dismantled the Mets. The Dodgers are the type of team that if you try and pitch around them, they just take walks. And then the second you throw them their pitch, they hit a ball 500 feet. Like there is no, you know what I mean? It's like you can't pitch to these guys. You got Mookie Betts, you got Freeman, you've got Ohtani. It's nonstop. It's one after another. And I guess the Yankees are similar, where it's Soto, it's Judge, it's Stanton. I mean, it's the Yankees versus the Dodgers. This is, you want to talk about ratings, you want to talk about the MLB being happy. You've got the biggest city on the West Coast, the biggest city on the East Coast, both playing each other, the biggest names, Judge versus Ohtani, Soto versus Mookie Betts. Like, are you kidding me?
It really is as good as it gets for Major League Baseball. Ohtani versus the Yankees is what you want. I was rooting for the Mets just because I think New York versus New York, the cave at Barstool Sports, the streams have been incredible. Having everybody from New York in on the same stream would have been must-see TV, even more must-see TV than they've already been. But yeah, if you're Major League Baseball, Dodgers-Yankees is A1.
Yeah, I mean, the rest of the country would have tuned in, but it's still New York versus New York. Now you're getting just everyone. Yeah. It's as perfect of a World Series as you can get. It's an instant classic. Hopefully it goes 7. I mean, obviously I want the Yankees to win, but just for the storyline, you hope that it's Yankees versus Dodgers in LA. Like this is it. Like this is the game. The biggest bats, the biggest stars, all under the brightest lights.
You mentioned it earlier, Frankie. You said like it just didn't feel like you were in the mix. There's nowhere that's not in the mix more than Hawaii. When you're out there, that whole place, it's sure the time zone and all that, but the entire ethos of the entire place is they're just not consumed with the stuff that we're consumed with. They're going out on the beach. They're taking in the sunrise before the sunrise even happens. They're one with the water. They're one with the mountains. They're just not sitting on the couch grinding over sports, and they're not talking about it. It's not part of the lexicon. You're 6 hours behind East Coast time. So that whole, I'm almost starting to already feel a little bit like Australia, where we went there for 2 weeks, and then we talk all the time about how like there's a part of our brain that doesn't think that actually happened. The Hawaii trip, it was very impactful, and I think it was probably more impactful than any place we've ever been, but it is such a fantasy land. You're so out of the mix that it's almost easy to just compartmentalize it in your brain as something that might not have even happened and been a dream. And now coming back, like you're saying, like seeing the cave and like our coworkers grinding in the cave over sports is just such a like catapult back into reality and traffic and people honking. And then sports fans, you got the LA versus New York, and it's just kind of a clash all of a sudden that we return to society. And it does. It kind of feels good a little bit to be attached again to reality. And I remember who played last year was like Diamondbacks, and I live in Arizona. It was like Diamondbacks,
Rangers,
and it's like living here, nobody even really cared that much in Arizona. It didn't feel like the World Series. This one, everybody's kind of talking about. So yeah, I don't think you get anything better than Dodgers Yankees. First time since what, 81? I think 1981.
Something like that, yeah. And both teams like have all the stats, all of the history. I think it's the Yankees' 44th World Series appearance and the Dodgers' 21st or 22nd. So you just got the most history. Obviously, the Dodgers coming from Brooklyn Dodgers, the whole entire deal. It's like this is it, man. This is like if any 90-year-old, Brooklynite or old school New Yorker is still around and watching baseball, like this is the biggest thing in the world. Like the Brooklyn Dodgers are out in LA and they're playing the Yankees. This is insane. Like, holy shit. This is it, man.
There's got to be something to cold weather places just like sports more, and they love sports more. And it's got to be because when there's sunshine and warm weather all the time, you can just do other things. Hawaii is certainly the epitome of that. LA, and then but as you move further east, and I think it probably starts around the Midwest and then certainly goes east, it's just when it's super cold, there's nothing else to do but watch sports. That's why Boston, Philly, New York, those are just the biggest hubs of the craziest fans. And I think it's just because when you're cold, you got to go inside. And when there's sun all the time, you don't give a fuck about the baseball team or what the series is at. And Hawaii is like, it's a whole different planet in that regard.
Well, just the way that Hollywood and all of these big programs schedule these big events and all of their shows around it. You have a pre-show, you've got the biggest stars, you've got Derek Jeter and David Ortiz and all these guys. They're going on this TV show to talk to the nation, and they are building that time frame around the East Coast, essentially, right? They're like, when are the most people on this side of the country going to be in front of a TV so that we can get the most views, the most advertising dollars? It's going to be 7:00 at night on a Tuesday night. They're not thinking about the people in Hawaii who are there at 1:00 p.m. at work, and they're on the beach, or they're at a Geico office in Honolulu. and you're just sitting there. They're like, we're not going to get that viewer. That person's busy at 1 o'clock. I mean, if you think about Tiger Woods, like walks up the 18th hole at Augusta National in 2019 at like 9:30 a.m. on Sunday in Hawaii. Like it's a different feel. It's not like 6 o'clock. It's not 5 o'clock in the middle of a Sunday. Everyone's winding down, getting ready for Monday. Like, and you're definitely in front of your TV. You have no plan. Like 9 a.m. Who knows what you're doing at 9 a.m. on a Sunday? You might not even be awake. You might be hungover still from Saturday night before. So they're not accounting for you to watch it. You weren't able to watch a single game. We were out filming videos with Good. I had to try and stream. There's no service out there. It was chaos. So yeah, I mean, Hawaii's just not. They have a million other great things, but
the Yankees going to bring in Jeter. You think they're going to bring him in and be like, talk to these guys about what this is going to mean to the city?
Well, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. The World Series is on Fox, so he'll be at every game. There's
bring him in.
There's that.
Talk to him.
You got to think he will. I mean, Jazz Chisholm just had a thing in the Players Tribune about just like how he is a great Yankee. I mean, he's a great baseball player and he has this like fire for it, but playing in New York has reinvigorated his like, it's reignited this fire inside of him. And he said like Derek Jeter back when he was getting drafted, because Jeter drafted him, I guess, in Miami. He's like, Derek Jeter coming to see me when I was a prospect was like, oh shit, I can do this. Like that was my favorite player growing up. And now he's like, now I'm a Yankee wearing like his jersey and it's New York and it's the World Series. Like I am. He's like, there's a prince, there's a king here, number 99, but I want to be the prince. Like they're all just like ready to rock. I can't wait. It's great.
Awesome.
And I think I'm going to be in the streams with the guys this week. I know Tommy Smokes texting me. I didn't hate like not having to be part of like the, that's their Yankee thing. I'm never there for it. But I got to be in the mix for World Series.
You're a worthy Yankee fan. Right. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you actually give a fuck.
It's just publicly, like the Islanders have been my thing because that is my number one thing without a doubt. But the Yankees have always been there. I mean, that was like my first love. You can't be a 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old watching 4 World Series and have that diehard of a dad of a fan and not be obsessed with this team. So I'll be there for the World Series. I'm finally back in New York. Yeah, I can't wait. Awesome. I actually think Game 6 will be at New Haven for Pup Punk. That's brutal, but maybe we'll show the game behind us.
Sweep them right out of the building.
Sweep them. Hopefully it ends in 5 or 4.
Yeah, just go with the quick sweep. This episode brought to you by our proud, fantastic American partner, Chevrolet. We're talking Equinox EV, which helps you get the distance you're looking for with an available EPA estimated 319 miles of range on a full charge. Actual range may vary based on several factors. Equinox EV, do yourself a favor, head over to Chevy.com/Equinox EV and check it all out. Check out the product info, what this bad boy looks like, lease offers, amazing deals. Equinox EV, the future, Chevy, bow tie. Excellent.
Best in the business. Chevrolet, the Equinox EV is incredible, but you go on Chevy.com, look at all their models, look at everything they got. You're going to find something you want. You can customize it, colors, interiors, rims, everything. You go on there, I guarantee you're going to find something you like. Chevrolet on the cutting edge of EV, and the Equinox is the latest edition of that.
We just got back from Hawaii. We were talking about just the beauty and the nature. You got to preserve that stuff. Electric vehicles are the frontier of that. This is where we're going to start. This is people that are on this earth right now saying, we are thinking about the future of this earth, and this is where we have to start this thing. It's electric vehicles. It's an old school American company like Chevrolet that is the forefront of it. Over a decade working on this thing, and now they're rolling them out, and they are beautiful, beautiful vehicles.
The Equinox EV offers as well a roomy, no compromises interior with ample cargo room and convenient storage solutions. I just went to the link right now, which is Chevy.com/Equinox EV. I'm looking at this thing on a nice clean road. There's a lake behind it, and it is just popping. I'm looking at this like silver grayish one. It's got the bow tie on the front. It's EV, so it's cool. It's the future. Chevy.com/Equinox EV. Go there right now. Check out product info, lease offers, amazing deals. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. The TGL announced their schedule coming out at the beginning.
I got this email.
At the beginning of the year, I got this email as well. I'm going to read a couple things real quick. The TGL is going to be, so if folks don't recall, it was supposed to launch at the beginning of this year. I think it was a hurricane or a storm that completely wrecked the SoFi Center, is I believe what it's called, which is this indoor technologically infused golf league that they're going to be doing. They've been announcing the teams over the last year and a half. I think the Jupiter Lynx is the Tiger Woods team, but they're going to be that's the Trent Ryan team. I don't know if you're getting any merchandise there, Trent.
It might be my new squad. We talk a lot on this show. We just talk a lot about fandom. I have no teams really outside of the Iowa Hawkeyes. I might have to, adopt a TGL team and get a jersey.
This bad boy will be premiering Tuesday, January 7th. To be in prime time, mostly Mondays and Tuesdays. The scheduling is quite interesting, I thought, just because folks got to get to Palm Beach Gardens, I believe is where this is. And the whole beginning of the year, up until they get to the Florida swing, I mean, these guys are on the West Coast playing golf. And I was looking like it kicks off January 7th. Well, the Century Tournament of Champions finishes on the 5th, which is Sunday the 5th. So you've got plenty of guys that are going to have to get there for this game that got to go from Hawaii all the way over to Florida, which is obviously what we just did.
A lot of stops.
Which is not the fucking easiest thing in the world.
There's 4 stops.
A million stops. I imagine they might have some sort of charter system, but 4 stops for someone like Trent. And then
4 stops for
the
Delta.
Sony Open is the next weekend. And now I'm not saying, but they're pretty much eliminating people from then being able to play back-to-back weeks. And I'm sure things like that are going to occur. So it's not the biggest news in the world of sports, but this whole TGL thing coming out, what it's going to look like, it's sort of them, I guess, trying to pick up on, and we've mentioned things like this a million times, that golf kind of needs outside the box ideas. It needs innovation. It needs all kinds of stuff to try to appeal to a bigger audience. That we've said it's kind of a house of cards where you've got these 2 different leagues where there's this massive cash infusion. They're paying people hundreds of millions of dollars to go over there. It doesn't feel like that many people watch professional golf, so it needs to do something, spice things up. This is kind of the Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy. There's a bunch of big celebrities that are sort of investors in part of this whole thing, and it's going to be kicking off at the beginning of next year. It says there's going to be 15 regular season matches, a 4-team semifinal, a 2-team final that'll be a best of 3 on March 24th and 25th, which is a couple weeks before the Masters. So I don't know really what to expect yet. I don't know that anybody has seen or really been able to conceptualize exactly what these matches are going to look like. I saw that Tiger Woods and Trent Ryan's team, Jupiter Lynx, is not in the first week. I think they're playing week 2, which is January 14th, will be their first matchup. Hopefully Tiger looks healthy and everything by then. But yeah, TGL announced that they've got a schedule and they've got a whole thing coming up.
Yeah, the schedule is interesting. They've got one team at the other team, even though it's all in the same venue. So I'm seeing a lot of that, like Jupiter Jackals at the whatever it might be. And the first 7 matches are on ESPN, so that's big. It's all prime time. It's on ESPN. It's going to be broadcasted. And then they have a President's Day triple header is what I saw. So they're going all in on what we just talked about, when people are going to be home, when are they going to be able to watch golf. I do think that players are going to be accounting for the fact that they are playing in a new league and they are going to be in prime time. So they might miss a Sony Open here and there for this new venture. And I think that's going to be fine for them. They're not doing their regular tour stuff. I'm sure they're getting a lot more money doing something like this. This is a whole new league, a whole new opportunity to make more money. So yeah, it's interesting. I mean, every shot you're going to see the best players in the world hit every single shot on primetime TV. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know what being home and what being away signifies. I'm assuming they're going to explain that, what the scoring is going to be like. But I'm excited for it. It's different. And hopefully the players all buy in and the fans buy in. And we get some moments, as long as you give us moments to talk about and get excited about, that's all you really can ask for from a sports league.
When we talked about live and TV deals a million times, I'm sure, but at one point Frankie had a good idea and he said, just make a YouTube page and just have all these matches on YouTube. Now, I understand you have ESPN involved, ESPN Plus, I'm sure the numbers are huge. I'm sure you're making X money from streaming and all that stuff with the live rights. It's starting to feel a little bit like that again, though, where it's why not just have a YouTube channel with all of these guys together all the time and then just drop videos? I understand the primetime thing, and that's, you want to build it up. It's this big deal. It's this big league. We're trying to make golf different. And, far be it for me to want, Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy to start a YouTube page. That's, a couple of big names in our pond. But That I feel like is going to grab the audience you want. I don't know, like if you're trying to get younger, I don't know if ESPN Plus is the place to do it. Like I think an accessible, free, grab the iPad, put on YouTube place is where you want to go. Again, I'm talking out of my ass, but it just seems like a golf thing that you want to make popular and big. There's a pretty set infrastructure right now that immediately goes to the audience that you probably want, and even older. Look at us. We're older guys now, but our audience still goes to YouTube and watches our videos.
Yeah.
I just think I get the pomp and circumstance and all that of ESPN and Tiger and Rory and that, but I don't know if this is the right place for it. And I know it's too late for them to reverse course, but this doesn't seem like
it is a very interesting
in
point, because I just looked it up, and 4 days ago, Bryson DeChambeau posted his "Can I Break 50" with Phil Mickelson from the front tees. That's got 2.1 million views already on YouTube. The final round, when John Rahm won the Live Golf Individual Championship, we talked about those ratings. It was 89,000 people watched the final round of that. So you really do have to ask yourself, if there had been a completely new, innovative rollout of, I mean, if you look at Live, and we're obviously kind of like using this current option and what's happening to be like, could they have done something different when they launched a new league 3 years ago? Had they done something where they rolled out the Live product through the lens and the style and the format of some kind of YouTube golf, you have to think that the just total numbers and viewers, etc., would be infinitely larger, because that right there is 2 Live golfers. That is 2 guys in a video. The production cost and value is hilariously less than Live Golf is spending. And I am sure that from a business standpoint and a legacy media standpoint and legacy overall, when it comes to coverage and exposure and eyeballs standpoint, that there's an argument to be made for just getting your foot in the door, carving out some sort of audience, and ultimately getting to a point where you grinded it out and you were able to earn TV rights and a TV deal and grow and grow and grow. The PGA Tour in year one, when Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus and all these guys kind of put it together, wasn't just doing the numbers that it's doing now. And so I'm sure there's that kind of argument. But man, when you just look at the staggering difference between those numbers, over 2 million views already in a video that just has 2 Live golfers out there trying to break 50, versus the numbers that they get on their main major tournaments with $25 million prize pool and the whole deal, it does make you think that there might be a really creative, innovative, new way to try to roll out a new league that could do exponential numbers to what just traditionally putting something on TV looks like.
You just have to disconnect yourself from what you want to, if you want to be like traditional sports, live sports, because
That's right.
89,000 people is still 89,000 concurrents, and then the video goes away. So like 2.1 million has been out for a week or whatever it might be, however long it is. That's people watching it in the morning, at night, the next day. They're sending it to their friends. It's easily consumable content that you can keep on, you can pause, whatever. But do you want to be that league that's like, you got to watch it tonight, you got to watch it now, you want people talking about it, if you miss it, you got to watch next week? That's what sports has always been. So, Bryson does have a YouTube channel, but he also plays in live sports. So there is 2 different versions that you can watch him in. Live is a live sport aspect where it's like, that's what they're trying to achieve, is they're trying to get people to watch the last putt go in, just like we were watching Juan Soto try and hit a home run against, in the playoffs. Like, that's what you want. You want big moments like that. That Juan Soto home run wouldn't have been such a big moment if people watched it at 10 a.m. or 1 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock the next day. It's just not the same. It's not. I'm sure advertisers don't feel the same way. I'm sure the whole entire deal is different. So there's a huge difference. 90,000 concurrents would be like the biggest YouTube video of the year right there. Like, that's a huge video. So it's interesting the way you look at it.
I just think also within like those sports that we're talking about, those are traditional formats. Like baseball is a traditional format. Live, despite everything, is a golf tournament where they play these holes and it comes down to the winner and the guy makes a putt and wins. Where like TGL is not traditional. We don't even know what it is. We don't know what the points are. We don't know what the formats are. So I don't know if you have the same buildup as you would with a linear sporting event. And it might be, but like YouTube videos they're just kind of whatever format you want to have, that's what it is, and people will watch it. Like I think there's an opportunity with TGL where it's not traditional. Again, we don't know what it is. So you can kind of put it out whenever. Now, I get that you want to build up these moments with live sports. I just don't know if initially this is going to grab that sort of like, wow, Pete Alonso just hit a 3-run home run. Everybody's going crazy on Twitter. I think it might be more towards put it on YouTube. People are going to watch it. Clips will still go. You can still put them out. But then instead of people all watching it together and then seeing the clip, they'll see the clip and be like, all right, now I want to watch that. It's reverse engineered.
It's interesting because they're kind of it makes me think a lot of what the conversation or discussion is about in the presidential election right now, where it's like they're not as focused on the numbers of viewers or whatever during a rally or during like when Kamala went on Fox News last week. I think it was like 7.1 million viewers or something. But what they really are harping on is like what the clips from that do. What the numbers, the tens and hundreds of millions of views that the TikToks that come out of that and the TikToks that come out of rallies do. And so I do think you're more likely to get in sports a lot of those clips to kind of have that residual, delivering of numbers and exposure and engagement and all of that when it's live. I think that's more shareable. It's more, people are just kind of reacting. It's emotional in the whole deal. But I guess for me, it's almost like numbers are numbers, and maybe it's a combination of something like that could do better than just throwing it on TV and hoping that people treat it like it's this big moment. Because even in like NFL's nailed that, obviously, as we know, but they're also like the king. There are plenty of years where, we talked about the World Series last year, where it's like it was really hard for many people to get up for that overall. And you're very much like, it's not, nobody's ever saying they shouldn't do that live, but you are really, really sort of handcuffed into needing moments to happen to make it worth it and to get the pop and to get people going. And I think that's really, really hard when you don't have the history, when people don't even really know what it's going to be. There's like a learning curve for the whole deal. You do have the established stars. You've got Tiger Woods. You've got Roy McIlroy. And I think Trent said it earlier of like, or maybe it was one of you two said it earlier of like, that is cool. And I'm genuinely excited as a golf fan that I'm going to be able to tune in. And like, if it's Rory's team, I'm going to be able to watch Roy McIlroy do something golf related and competitive team related for 2 hours straight, like the whole fucking time. He's going to be on there. He's going to be strategizing with his teammates. He'll be hitting shots, whatever the hell it's going to be. And you never really get that. You have to tune into PGA Tour Live to get that. And even then, it's like they hit a shot, they're going to walk for 5 minutes, they hit another shot, but also the other, and it's like you don't really get it the whole time. So if it is sort of this condensed experience of some of our favorite stars mixed with personality, like that kind of is what YouTube golf is, combined with this new venture, and they're really truly competitive and they want to win. Like, it could be fucking great. It could be dicey. We've seen some of these matches and whatnot where they've really lacked some juice. But yeah, I mean, I think overall I am excited. I think overall, if you have the opportunity to do it on ESPN and live TV in prime time on Tuesdays or Mondays and Tuesdays, when there's really not a ton else that's going to be going on, you got to do it. But I just think, I wonder if they thought about creatively incorporating this YouTube golf that I know it's not live and that it has the added benefit of people being able to watch it all day, but like that is a benefit. And if you know what I mean, like that does offer you that opportunity, which is really cool. Someone can watch it at 9 a.m. while they're at work at their desk, or they could watch it on Sunday morning with their family, or they could watch it at 7 p.m. in more of a traditional prime time. I just feel like maybe you could leverage the fact that is an option now and sort of maximize the exposure instead of just committing to what's been traditional for 60 years or whatever.
I could see them putting in a YouTube team at one point, and maybe it's not every night, but just seeing how one of the teams faces off against like a collection of YouTube guys that do play pretty well and that could compete. I'm not saying they would be able to compete, but it'd be fun to watch to see if they could. Put a Brad Dahlke out there and a Luke Kwan and all these guys. Like, what happens? I don't know. They might be able to compete, and you would grab that audience and go in to the live aspect. But the one thing that really stood out to me is the SoFi like advertisement. They do have the stadium, they have the league sponsor, and then they also named it the SoFi Cup, which I think is a bad move, putting an advertising on a championship like trophy, like to go win the SoFi Cup, because now you're just like tied to that. If you want to be this like everlasting cool new league for the next 50, 100 years, why would you name this the right? Like, isn't that weird?
I completely agree with you. I hadn't thought about that, but like it's the Lombardi. It's not.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure
Stanley Cup.
Right. I'm sure those things are probably sponsored in some weird way, but they didn't start with a sponsor.
It's a little bit of like
the only thing I can think of is like Nexus Cup with like NASCAR, right? Like NASCAR has I feel like at the end of the NASCAR season there's an advertisement cup with like the Coca-Cola, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
There is something there.
You got to earn that right.
I don't know. I just
got to
think
earn that right to be naming your trophy. You know, it's like you got to lead with it being clean and cool and build the history. Can't lead with like it's the SoFi Cup.
It's the Larry O'Brien. It's the Lombardi.
Stanley.
I don't
know.
Stanley. It's
like if you're already doing that and you're already licensing that out, you're showing me that you're not as serious of a league, I guess, in my mind.
Yeah, I would say not everything is for sale. Now everything is for sale when it comes to something like this, but you should probably protect the trophy.
I'm really excited for the league. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see the jerseys. I can't wait to watch all these guys playing in it. Yeah. Like it's going to be awesome. There is some things that where you could tell that they are, I don't know what their end game is. Just like I didn't know what Liv's end game was. Like, where are you trying to get this thing? And then Liv has continued to succeed in its own way and keep growing and grabbing players. So maybe TGL is going to do the same thing. Who knows? I mean, we're all a little skeptical and we're all very excited. So at least it's a new venture. It's something that we get to watch. It's more golf, which is not the worst thing.
Right. I'm definitely going to watch it.
We're definitely going to watch it.
I kind of dig some of the names and the logos. Like I'm looking because I got this little graphic on the email, and like the Boston Common Golf with their little frog guy is kind of sick. The Jupiter Links with the palm tree, kind of sick. I think the New York Golf Club is pretty damn cool. The Bay, like they got some cool. Comparatively, I thought like when a lot of the live teams, there's a couple that I actually like. I like Legion 13 is what I think Roms is. But there's a few of them that when they first came out, I remember we really were like, yikes, these are kind of sick. So that part of it, I am excited. I think that
I've seen the LAGC one a lot, the Los Angeles Golf Club. I don't know if it's because we've met a lot of people that like own that team, and like we've just met a lot of people that are associated with that. I've seen that logo a ton where it's already the LAGC seems like it's already a like well-known logo in our world of golf. Like I've seen it a bunch. I've seen it talked about a bunch. So yeah, they are doing a good job with that. The branding is great. I'll be honest, that's the first time I've seen the New York Golf Club one. It is good. It's like it's a driver with like, but the driver head looks like the wing of a bird looking back. Sick. It is cool.
I'd love to be part owner of the Jupiter Links. You think they could make that happen? I'll just put like $500 down, and then I can be part owner, and I'll just parade around town, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm part owner of the Jupiter Links. Like that. Let me do that. Let me be part owner. And then I'll just I'll promote the league. I want to be the owner of a sports team, and I'm never going to own the Boston Celtics. That's just not in the cards for me. You know, unless this whole thing blows up even bigger than it already has, I'm not going to have that opportunity. My only opportunity to be the owner of a sports team is going to be if I can put a couple $100 down and then just parade around town as the owner of the Jupiter, of a part owner of the Jupiter Links.
I think these teams already have some pretty big owners.
We could make that happen, Trent. I think we could make that happen. I think they would love that.
Who owns the Jupiter Links?
I'm a little bit.
I'll have to look into that.
I think Arizona kind of got snubbed. I feel like this is a top 2 or 3, residential spot for PGA Tour pros, and we got nothing on here. I'm looking at nothing.
I would say it's the number one. We talked about this a couple months ago. Arizona, Phoenix, Scottsdale, that is like number one for golf.
Yeah.
Number one.
I think that's right. I mean, and if you look at where the pros live, you're looking at Jupiter, Dallas, here, Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, not to cut you off, even though I am, the New York team, is owned by Steve Cohen. So I mean, like and I think every team is owned by someone like that. There's a lot of promise in this thing. You're getting the best golfers in the world all together in one roof where you can sell tickets. It's a live aspect. It's an actual arena. There is something here. There really is. You're getting Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy, all these guys together. Max Homa, Kevin Kisner, Colin Morikawa. They're all there. They're all in this one room, and they're playing home versus away, and there's standings and there's statistics. and there's new versions of the game of golf where the Full Swing team came in and they made this new putting green that moves, and you're going to be able to hit the screen. And then when they're 100 yards and in, I think they're hitting actual wedge shots into actual greens and putting actual putts out, and the balls are going to move left to right. And if they have an uphill slope, the green that they're hitting on, the fairway they're hitting on is actually going to move. And the screen is like 200 times larger than a usual screen. It's going to be ceiling to floor, floor to ceiling. Screen, which you've never seen before. Like, it's going to be, I think it's going to be cool. I really do.
I do too.
Will the actual golf translate though? Will Tiger Woods hitting into a screen, is that going to be electric enough? We've also noticed though, in the game of golf, you really don't get up for like drives unless it does come down to the end where you're like, Tiger Woods has to hit this fairway. He cannot hit a fairway bunker. He needs to make a 4 here or else he loses the tournament. It's all about the approach shots and the putts. That's where the money's at. That's where all the photos are taken. That's where all the wins are won, right? You got to make the putt to win the Masters. So maybe they figured out something that they're like, we just got to get to the point. We got to get to the exciting point. We don't care that we're hitting into a screen. We got to get 100 yards and in, and that's where all the juice is.
That's a good point. Cause like I can't think of unless there's like a drivable par 4 18th, like the old course at St. Anthony. But even then, like when Rory needed like an eagle to maybe force a playoff a couple of years ago, it's like you're still not that juiced up for the drive. You just kind of hit it down there, and like you're saying, maybe he's going to hole out the chip, maybe they're going to hole out the putt. I can't think of almost any tournament, maybe like 08 when Tiger was trying to win at Torrey Pines, and it's like if he can hit the fairway, then he can hit the green in 2, but he missed the fairway, and then he's got to get up and down, which he did. But like it all comes down to that putt. Like that putt that Tiger made that year, nobody remembers the drive. Nobody remembers the layup. Like it's all about he made that 12 or 15-foot putt and went fucking crazy on the green. So it's like if they have sort of eliminated to a degree the part of the game that is the least dramatic, then there could be something. And I'm with you.
Or the part that they're all pretty much the same at. Like at this point in the year 2024, every guy that hits the ball off the tee is pretty much the same. Some guys are further than others, but I mean, they all just pound the ball down the middle. That's all they do. They are robots. And then it's like, who can shape shots? Who can get that ball to that back right pin? Who can stuff a wedge on a short-sided pin over a bunker? Like that's where championships are won. And maybe they sat around a fucking boardroom and they're like, listen, how do we design this new league based around primetime golf where every shot's going to matter and we don't need to really like care about anything else but this 150, 100 yards in, big shots, showing off our skill. I mean, they're still going to get the big drives. We're going to go nuts when they show a Rory McIlroy 370-yard drive with 340 yards carry, something insane. Like, you know, he can always wow the crowd, but like, what's the difference between that and a Max Homa 315-yard drive right down the, you know what I mean? It's like, it's going to be the same thing. So it's interesting. I don't know. It's different. I mean, there's going to be no wind involved. It's like, it's completely different. Completely different.
Owners of the Jupiter Lynx, Tiger Woods, and a guy named David Blitzer, who also co-owns the Cleveland Guardians and the Washington Commanders. So
Wolf Blitzer's brother-in-law.
Might be out of my tax bracket, but again, I'm willing to put down, I'd say at least $500 to become part owner of the
Jupiter. Do you ever see that Wolf Blitzer when he posted that like a tweet or an Instagram of him having like the Blitzer cocktail at this bar? He was at brunch on Sunday, and then some crazy breaking news happened, and an hour later he was hosting like freaking
what was it? That was recently. Was that Trump getting
Might
shot?
have been. It was like a month or two ago, and it was just like,
I think that
it was like, man, would you like
that's right.
you put up the like out of office email too early or something like that? He was just
we saw Wolf Blitzer at Danny Rappaport's wedding.
We did.
That's right.
He was out.
He was
there
tearing up the dance floor,
tearing it up.
You hate to be the CMO of like the World Long Drive. Listen to this conversation right now. Just we were like, drives are just completely meaningless and boring.
I mean, chicks love the long ball. That's always been a
true.
thing, and I mean, we get jazzed up for long drives. I'm just saying that I think that the idea of putting all these big golfers together, if you are trying to figure out a way to put it all into one little arena, the game of golf, I think the thing that you would eliminate is the drive. Like it's the most similar, and you can't win a match based off of that shot. Like it's everything that's consolidated into a 150-yard arena. Yeah, I mean, they are kind of nailing the fact that is the most important part of the game.
The closer you get to the finality of the result, the more dramatic it is, and the drive is the farthest away from that. You know, and so it's just
I mean, the biggest negative or the biggest critique of a long drive competition is like, how are these guys not in the PGA Tour? And they're like, well, like they have no short game. They can't put it all together. They can't do it over 4 days. Like they can hit the ball a long way, but they're very one dimensional. And like, so everyone just kind of they resort to the fact that those guys are kind of like circus acts, and they put them on ESPN, the Ocho, and no one really watches the long drive contest. I mean, it's not to shit on that, but it's like, that is what it is. They have like what, it's like,
dude, I remember,
I don't know.
Me and Trent, it's like one of the first golf video I ever filmed. We went to the World Long Drive in Oklahoma, and biggest casino like in the world, by the way. And
Thackerville,
just slot machines like you wouldn't fucking believe. And we played golf with one of the guys the next day, and he was like a 7 handicapper. It was very funny. He was hitting it like 370 in the air off the tee, and then shooting like 79 or whatever. You're like, all right, this guy's very known.
Bryson, the perfect example is Bryson DeChambeau thought that long drive was going to be like the future and how he's going to grab the new fans and all the kids and all of that stuff. He tried it out, and then now he has a YouTube channel because he's just like, I don't want to do that anymore. Yeah. He did that route. He went from professional golf, and then he joined the long drive league. He was every single week trying to win a long drive competition. And he's like, I'm done doing that. My farts stink. I'm taking too much protein, and I now have to just go to YouTube. And now he's the biggest star in golf right now.
Helps when you win a couple of U.S. Opens, but I agree with your point.
Yeah, yes, 100%. But I'm talking about the alternative routes of trying to grab more fans, and we've talked about it a lot. That has worked.
Fall is officially here. It's officially in the air. The temperatures are dropping quickly. I'm rocking a new Peter Millar item right now. I saw Frankie posted on his Instagram within the last day or two a bunch of his new fall Peter Millar items.
Oh my God!
There is nobody that
I'm gonna go get
better than these guys. Nobody. Frankie's going to get him right now.
Frankie's standing up right now. He ran out of the room. He loves the Peter Millar so much that he's going to bring it onto the show to show you. His Insta story was stunning. They've got all this great fall stuff. Like, if fall is one of the best times to play golf, anybody who golfs knows that. And if you have the right attire, Riggs Barstool standing up, showing off some of the Peter Millar fall stuff. Here comes Frankie Borrelli. He's got a whole cup. He's got a handful of stuff.
Almost
here.
Like a
what do you got there, Frankie Borrelli?
Looking sweater he's got on there, like a lavender
Frankie's
sweater.
Breathing heavy.
He's excited,
out of breath.
He's breathing heavy. He ran up one flight of stairs, I think. But what do you got there?
Look at this vest. We're gonna start with this vest, Peter Millar. First of all, this Islanders hoodie, Peter Millar. Like, they just do everything, right? This Islanders hoodie is Peter Millar. Look at this vest, man. You want to talk about class?
What a color!
This color of blue. You guys know me. I'm a blue guy.
You are.
This is right up my alley. Nice and soft, nice and warm.
You're really breathing heavy.
Did you go downstairs?
I'm about to show you a color here that is going to blow you away. Look at this. Look at this quarter zip.
Wow. Is that a burgundy?
This is a Ron
That's what
Burgundy.
I was trying to come up with earlier. I couldn't get there.
Golly.
Yeah, that thing's beautiful.
Doing the crown on the chest. My dad stopped over yesterday. I showed him this stuff, and he's like, if you turn around for too long and that purple's coming home with me.
This green sweater they sent me.
This right here, this is a showstopper.
Yep.
I mean, you're playing fall golf.
Jesus, dude.
I can't catch my breath. I've got a real big round of golf, fall golf happening in Jersey, I think this weekend. Real big round of golf happening. And this is coming with me. Like, I'm talking thick, comfortable, but also very thin in the arms, so it's not restrictive. And then I think this might be exactly what Riggsy's got on, but in a different color.
Oh, yeah, it is.
So you got the hood up there. You've got the nice, like, pouchy.
You got a puffer right in here? Puffer?
Soft puffer. And then they sent me this pant that's like in between a brown and like a khaki. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's not really showing the type of color it is on this screen right now, but it's really, really classy. I love it. It goes with a nice dark blue. I'm ready to rock, man. Like, Peter Millar is obviously the best in the game, and we're very lucky to be partnered with them for as long as we are. We've been able to acquire and accumulate a lot of awesome stuff. Like, I don't take it for granted how amazing these clothes actually are. But just browse the website. It's the thing to get for this fall. Like, you can go out to, I'm thinking like a couple of these outfits are Thanksgiving outfits for me, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't, I can't catch my breath, guys. I really can't.
And we're just making you talk.
No, I just, I don't know. It's just really, really good. Like, this is stuff that I would stress about, like, having to get for this fall. Like, it's really classy, awesome sport wear, but then you can wear it out to dinner. You can wear it to Thanksgiving. You can wear it wherever you want. It's an amazing.
Yeah, go
company.
check out petermillar.com/foreplay. That's just all. That's where you need to go. That's your landing page. You're going to see the all-course outerwear line. That's what we're raving about. It's the all-course, features wind-proof construction, water-resistant, perfect for drizzly days. It's lightweight. It's stretchy. It's awesome. So go to petermillar.com/foreplay. All the stuff that we're talking about, showcasing, you can go check it all out for yourself at petermillar.com/foreplay.
Bryson, by the way, his Break 50 series is like the cleanest. Whoever's running his social media is nailing it, because when you look at his social media posts, the fact that he came out with a show, and we talk about this with our shows all the time, like Breaking 100, Breaking 90. We've been doing them for a long time. Having an achievement show is huge, like where you have to watch the next episode to see if this guy achieves it. And when Bryson puts up a new Instagram and it's like episode 1, 2, 3, he does the whole carousel of how many people have been in it, and it's the biggest names in golf at this point. It's so cool, and the way that he's putting each one out is so great. Like, it almost makes you think we should be doing that for Trent, where it's like each new episode you should put up episode 1 his score, episode 2 his score. Like, you should be putting it up on Instagram each time. Like, I'm learning something from Bryson's YouTube channel.
I like that,
even though we've been here forever. Like, this guy's learning something, because I'm now able to look back and be like, oh, what did he shoot in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and now we're at 9. Oh, he shot a 55 with Phil Mickelson. I can't wait to see who he has next week. It's working on me, and now I'm like gassed up about who he's bringing on next week. I heard it might be fucking Michael Jordan. Like, well, that's what Grant wrote on his Instagram, but like, it might be Michael Jordan. Who knows? Like, that he could get him.
Definitely.
There's no name too big. He already got the biggest one. It's like anybody's on the table. That's cool. I like that idea, though. We might have to start doing that.
Did you see what Trump invoked the late great Arnold Palmer over the weekend?
Talking about his dick,
Talking about his dick size, right?
Yeah.
Who did Trump say has really slow swing speed?
Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban. It was at the very end. He's like, he's a loser. He's always been a loser. Slow swing speed. He said slow swing speed, non-athletic.
It's like he took a crazy stray. Like, it was pretty standard stuff up to that, and then he was just like, by the way, low club speed. It's like,
low club speed, non-athletic swing. Never been
low club speed is just very funny.
That's such an unbelievable dig at somebody. Right. That loves the game of golf. You're like, you have low club speed. You have low club speed.
Is Cuban a big golfer? I have no idea.
I probably
I don't know either.
I guess when you get that much money, you're just like, I guess.
All I know is you got low club speed there, Trent. That's all I can tell you.
Low club speed.
Yeah,
Roy McIlroy caught a stray too. Did you see him get just on ABC?
He goes, a weak and pathetic bully. He's got nothing going. Period. Really low club speed. A total non-athlete.
Fuck.
Really low club speed.
Brutal. That's something you say as you're walking away. Like, you're yelling at someone, you're calling them a loser, a nothing, you got nothing going on. You turn around to walk away, and you go, you also got low club speed, by the way, and then you just keep walking, and it's the meanest thing.
I got into a little mean off with Lurch yesterday in my DMs.
Wow. Look at that.
I put up my Peter Millar stuff. And he writes to me, "Fit into a large, you pussy," is what he wrote to me. And I said, "Hold on, let me go get my sewing kit, and I'll string a couple of these together so you can squeeze into something." And he goes, and he loved it. He just wrote, "Good."
Good. He enjoyed that. That's nice.
Let me just sew all these together so you can maybe squeeze into one.
Let me make a parachute out of these vests, and you can put this thing on.
Oh God, that was nice. That made me laugh all night last night, just kind of looking at that back.
That's fun.
Forth.
We talked about that a couple weeks ago. Making fun of your friends is the best.
Oh my God, because he had posted something. I looked back on October 6th where he put up he stood on a scale, and I wrote, "That's a huge number," and he wrote "huge," and he goes, "We're gonna get this going." I wrote, "You have to," and he wrote, "You got to relax." That was funny. Yeah,
those are our Lurch contributions. It's nice.
He is a big boy.
It's huge.
Still in our group chat, but
yeah, we'll comment every once in a while on stuff.
Where did he come?
We're like grinding to get on flights to Hawaii, and he's like, "You guys gonna make it?" It's like, where the fuck did this guy?
That's when he came
from?
out and goes, even that gets an oof out of me when somebody said they have no Wi-Fi on the flight. I got a nice DM just now from Shane Lowry because I posted my
whoa.
I got a three. I'm 3/4 the way there on a parlay, so I put it on my Instagram. Shout out DK partner, and he just responded, "Real gamblers don't cash out." So Shane Lowry, I guess I got to let it ride. I appreciate that.
I've been on a DM journey with Shane Lowry
Yeah,
recently.
Trent's been kind of. Oh, my neck just.
I reached out to him a couple weeks ago, and I was like, let's get a scramble on the books, because we've talked a lot about that with him just at events we see him. And then he read it probably 10 minutes after I sent it. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get something back here. Smash cut to 6 days later, I still have nothing. But then he does respond to me and he says, yeah, we got to get something on the books. And then I responded to him immediately, and he read it immediately, and I'm still waiting on that response.
Okay.
So
we're becoming a huge let's get it on the books group, and we just can't lock these guys down recently. You know, they're very, very busy, and there is so much competition out there where they are doing other videos. They're all getting like, you know, Callaway and TaylorMade, whatever. They're doing their own videos with all their crews, and it's like, man, we've got so many lined up right now, and it's like we just got to figure out how to get that date down. You know,
we're
It
gonna
used to
get
be
Lowry.
so
He's
easy
gonna
to
come
get
for sure.
it used to be so easy to get dates. You know,
We're getting Lowry for sure. He's just
we are getting Lowry.
he's checking his schedule.
He's
That's
checking
all.
his
I'm not shitting on the guy either. I'm glad that he responded. I'm just saying it was funny that you brought up Shane Lowry, because I was like, I've been going back and forth with him for the last week.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys see Augusta National damage after Hurricane Helene came through?
I did see that. Honestly, at first glance, it didn't look that bad to me, and then I realized that every tree in the picture was down because it was like it was an aerial shot,
Yeah,
a bird's eye view, and you couldn't tell because like a tree on the ground almost looked the same as a tree standing up, and then you realize that the trees on the ground were casting no shadows, and you're like, holy shit! Every single tree in this shot is on the ground.
And several of them
tree on the ground looks the same as a tree standing up. That like broke my brain for half a second.
from the
But it kind
from
of
the
does.
drone
It felt like
shot,
you were
does.
giving me a parable or something. Felt like Confucius said that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looked bad.
I think it was like the 16th green that looked like it had like 2 or 3 massive Georgia pines that had just fallen. Right, and if you've ever seen a tree fall and the damage that shit can do, remember when that tree fell at Augusta during the Masters a couple of years ago? How insane that footage was that they tried to get
the
scrubbed?
lightning hit it.
Man, when a tree goes down,
it's also
intense.
tough because Georgia pines are ripe to be knocked over. They're tall and skinny.
Right.
It's a shame because, you know, if you look at the history of Augusta, it was a like nursery for these types of palm trees and all these Georgia pines. And it's a very, very nurturing ground for all these old school trees and greenery and all of this flourishing flowers. I mean, that's why it's such a beautiful place. It's heaven on earth. Right in the middle of Augusta, Georgia, it is heaven on earth. It used to be this old nursery. And as you lose all of these historically amazing trees, it's like you're losing a part of that history and that beauty. It's such a shame, but you can't keep it forever. Nature's going to do its thing. But you are losing some magic each time one of these fall down. And you did have a lot fall down there. I don't know what their plan is. Are they going to bring in others? I'm sure they can do that, right? It's like Disney, right? Disney was open like the day after Hurricane Helene. It's like you don't things were flying all over the place. The next day, it looked like
I don't know if
happened.
they'll ever even address it. I think it'll
Never.
just be fine when we show up.
You don't think they'll do a video of them bringing new ones in with like fucking like piano playing and it's like we're making our own history.
The MO that I sort of have heard from there is that they basically have clone trees of all of their important trees and a whole nursery.
Wow.
And if something goes awry, tree related, they can just replace them and you don't really notice that much. So maybe it'll look a little bit thin in certain spots. But I think in terms of those greens and the spots where trees fell that people are like, oh my God, that must have damaged that so much. I think those guys are going to open up those doors for the Augusta National Women's Amateur. They're going to welcome everyone in. You're going to hear the birds chirping. The green's going to be grass. And they're going to be like, oh, yeah, hurricane was devastating. We raised $1 billion to help all the people. We're lucky enough here at Augusta. Everything's fine. And you're not going to really notice anything.
What's that first par 3? Is it like 3 or 4?
Yeah, 4.
I think there's a palm tree there. It's like the last palm tree remaining. It's on the right side, I think. Yeah, you could fact check me on that, but that's a Frankie fact. It's fact until it's fiction. I think there's one final like palm tree, and they talk about it all the time. It's from that original nursery that when they purchased the land from it, it's still there. I think it's on 4. But like, see, like that's something that if they're lying to us about that and they're grabbing a palm tree from like the Jupiter Jackals. Was that
Normally,
Bob
I would say
that's Bob's dad's softball team name is what that is.
I was saying you said Jackals earlier. I didn't know what that was.
Did I say Jackals earlier?
I think so. Yeah.
Shout out to fucking is it Mike Berger? Shout out to Mikey. Incredible. Nobody makes a men's softball team more exciting than Robbie Berger does. The Jupiter Jackals is must-watch TV. You want to talk about watching Yankees Dodgers? If you show me the Jupiter Jackals versus their arch nemesis, I'm watching that all day.
The drama out there is off the charts.
But I told you guys this. My cousin, who was the best man of my best man at my wedding, who is Robbie's cousin, went to a Jupiter Jackal game and was like, if I was tasked with having to make this entertaining, I would not be able to do it. It's just a bunch of guys going out there and playing softball. And somehow the next day when they play again and Robbie is filming it and talking about it and commentating on it and finding the funny things, it looks like chaos is happening. There's a guy who pulled his hamstring. There was a brawl at one point. He's like, I don't know how he's finding this stuff, or it's just like a guy like getting ready at third base and he puts the name on it and he's like, this is the old judge, and he's running. He's got his cleats on. He zooms in on the cleats and it's like, it's hilarious. But yeah, that's just talent. That's all that really is. That's the difference.
Right.
There's an eye for comedy.
It does say that the lone palm is finally on display on the fourth post from 2019. I'm looking at it.
Thank you.
I'm looking at it. And it is a hilarious sight among these Georgia pines that there's just a thick palm tree sitting in there. Says, as the Augusta National Property is the site of a former plant nursery called Fruitland Nurseries, the numerous trees and shrubs throughout make visitors feel as if they are attending a world-class garden attraction and golf tournament. It is estimated that since the course was built, more than 80,000 plants and 350 varieties have been added to the Augusta National landscape.
And now half of them have probably been swept away, but we'll never know. But don't, and this is a lesson, this is an urgent demand from me to Augusta National.
Oh, wow.
Do not fuck with that palm tree. If it falls, you let us know, and then it's gone forever. Don't put a new one there. You need to preserve history at some point. I don't like all this like secondary backup, fill-in trees. No chance. No, sir. No, sir.
Yeah. I mean,
they're just going to replace it.
Yeah, I don't know how many
there's
demands
this,
from this show get taken seriously.
There's this church in Venice. It's either Venice. Oh my God. It's either Venice or
Fact, tell it's fiction. Name one.
I want to say it's Venice. Or Florence. It's either Florence or Venice. It's very famous. It's one with like the black and white stripes. A huge church in Italy. It's massive. I think it's Florence. And we went there, and there was this incredibly famous door. It's these gold doors, and each panel of the door tells a story, like of Jesus or whatever it might be. It's all the scriptures, right? And I remember, and Hannah was like, "Oh my God, like this is the same door as my church in Hicksville." And I looked, and like we got into an argument where I'm like, we're in Italy. Like this is you have some plastic door you know what I mean? In Hicksville, New York. That's not real. And we were debating about this forever. She's like, I'm telling you, I think it's the same one from the same maker. I'm like, what is this? Like Bob's Discount Furniture? They're like sending these fucking doors out. And now we're like arguing. We're holding gelato. We're like having a huge debate. And
honeymoon, beautiful time.
We look it up. And it turns out that when they made that, the makers of that door made replicas because of like wars and like issues that they thought it was so beautiful and preserved such a story that they actually made replicas of this door. And one of them happened to end up in Hicksville, Long Island. And they put that in her church, and it's the same door. You're
never living that down, pal. You're never living that down.
And it's like, dude, on their church, I think it's Trinity Lutheran Church. You could see it. There's a whole story about it. There's a whole story about this door being brought from Italy, stored so that it could never get destroyed. It's the same door. I'm like, there's no fucking way, bro. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, it was a huge.
I'm with you. I just assume everything in America is off-brand.
Yeah,
we don't.
Same.
Italy's been around for, I don't even know the number, but it's way longer than most places, certainly America.
Years.
So everything that comes to America, it's like we built it 75 years ago.
I was stunned by that. I was like, that was such a. And for me, whenever I lose a debate like that, I just start to kind of smirk and like walk away. I'm like, it doesn't even matter. It's a stupid door anyway. I'm just like, it's a dumb door. You can't even open it.
If I were her, I would just, every time you guys are arguing, I would just say door.
Yeah, well, you win some, you lose some.
If you're like me, the safety of your home and loved ones isn't just a priority, it is your everything. The problem is old school home security systems only take action once someone is already inside your home. It's probably too late at that point. Simply Safe Home Security, they're changing that with its new Active Guard outdoor protection, the only home security designed to prevent crimes before they happen. I love the app. I've had it at my house in Pinehurst, North Carolina for several years now. The app's incredible. I think I got 4 cameras around the outside, around the perimeter. Just keep an eye on the place, check on it. Not there all the time, so you could just jump in the app, see what's going on. You can activate all kinds of different stuff. The cameras are advanced AI to tell the difference between friendly faces like family and neighbors and potential threats, alerting agents to suspicious individuals before they get close to your home. These agents can talk directly to the intruder, sound a loud siren, flashlights, and even alert the police. Protect your home with 50% off of a new Simply Safe system, plus a free indoor security camera when you sign up for Fast Protect monitoring. You just visit simplysafe.com/foreplay. That is simplysafe.com/foreplay. I believe everyone on the show is a big Simply Safe fan.
I've got more Simply Safe than you could even imagine. It's everywhere in my house. I've got 4 cameras. I've got the Ring. I've got the doorbell. I've got all the motion sensors on the windows. It's everything. The garage door sensor. Everything is censored by Simply Safe. I check it every single morning. Whenever someone walks on my property, I get an alert immediately. And it's all battery powered. So I charge them up. They last a month or 2. I don't even have to worry about them. And then whenever they get low, I've got extra batteries that I already have charged. I slip them right in there. It is such a seamless process. I have it down to a science, and I love it. I absolutely love it.
Me too. It's a great company. They do a really good job. So again, that link, simplysafe.com/foreplay. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
I did my basement. Shout out to Full Throttle Remodel, my cousin's friends. They did my whole the most Long Island kids of all time. Full Throttle Remodel. Incredible.
Great name.
Incredible company.
Mhm.
I would say they are the number one guys that I would call for like renovating stuff in your house. They're incredible.
What's
They
the
did my garage and my basement all in
what's
one
that
week.
company in Entourage where it's like Turtle like negotiates and they throw the hat on when he's on the Tonight Show?
Shit.
It's so good.
Oh, I'm thinking I can see the guy. We need Glenny balls during the dozen right now. We need.
It's
Yeah, I
like a
don't know
black
it.
hat with
I'll
like
look it
isn't
up,
it like
but-
blue? I think it's got like
Yep.
blue writing on it.
I also came up with a great name. My cousin was like going to do some lighting for me downstairs on some photos. He's like, yeah, that would be light work. Like I could do that. And I was like, wow, light work would be a great name for a company for custom lighting in a house. Light work. So if someone wants to steal that, I don't think he's going to take that.
Full Throttle
What's the
Remodel.
company name, Trent?
Okay.
I'm trying to
Full
find
Throttle
it.
Remodel, Long Island.
That's awesome name,
I'm trying
man.
to find it. Why can't I
Couple
find it?
brothers from Farmingdale. Great kids.
Beautiful.
Great kids. Unbelievable stuff. I've trusted them with 4 projects in my house, and everything's come out. I'm talking TV wall, sound system, brand new floor, and the whole entire deal. They were incredible. But I even forgot what I was going to say about the basement. I forgot how I brought that up. Oh,
Movie theaters.
I've made it so good that I don't even want to go to the movie theater anymore. Like I genuinely enjoy watching a brand new movie now on my TV with the sound system on my own couch. And I have a little popcorn maker now. It's like, it's great. I'm like, why the fuck would I go to a movie theater? But I do miss the movie theaters. You know, there's a time and place for them. There is. Oppenheimer was one of them. You're never going to get
when
that
those feet are
experience watching it on
stomping,
the screen
man.
at
When the
home.
feet are stomping in that
Yes.
theater, off the charts.
Top Gun was another one.
Little Maverick action.
Dune.
I simply cannot find the name of that company.
I kind of
I'm going to text Glenny
It's
balls.
tough. Shout out to JT Poston, Aaron Fleener, his caddy. Couple great guys, friends of the program. He got his 3rd win on the PGA Tour at the Shriners out in Vegas. And then shout out to Doug Gim, great friend of the program as well. I spent a whole night playing video games with Doug Gim in Bermuda during basically like the pandemic with him and his crew. We had a fantastic time, and he's just a really, really nice guy. Always stays up with what we're doing. He's big watches the Hater series. By the way, episode 4 is coming out, 2 and 1. Coming out Wednesday, I believe, at Tot Hill Farm, which is a golf course on steroids. That's going to be the big attraction of the video, probably. But Doug Gim, his highest finish ever on the PGA Tour, he finished 2nd, $763,000. So shout out to those guys for a great week out in Vegas.
Huge shout out to those guys.
Did you text Glenny balls?
Somebody just rang my doorbell. That's the reason why there was that little pause. Somebody rang my doorbell. I might have to
the
get
neighbors welcoming you to town.
Could be. Maybe they have like a plate of lasagna or something. I'm gonna check. Sorry.
Wow. Oh, I have new neighbors that just moved in across the street from me, and I've been very nervous. This is my first time. 2 houses have been on for sale on my block, and that one just sold, and the other one I think is in contract. And it's like, do I go over there and initiate that? Like, do you just drop something off?
I think since
Do I
you're,
go drop over a couple like tailor-made golf balls or something and be like, here you go.
since you were the already resident, that you have to welcome them to the neighborhood. I think that's probably how that goes.
All right.
You know,
they've been like doing some yard work, and they have a dumpster out there. They're doing a lot of work, and I've like seen them, and I've been bad about not walking over there. We've done like a look before. I've gotten in the car. They've looked at me. I've been bad about that. But also, no one welcomed me when I came in.
Yeah.
Only one neighbor welcomed me.
I don't think
came over with
that's
cookies.
not a good trickle down system. No, I think you got to initiate. Get over there. Bring a little Borrelli's over there.
True.
You know, you can be like, hey, my family actually owns this restaurant. You guys should try it out. You're new to the neighborhood.
True. That's a great
Where'd
call.
you move in from? Whole deal. So otherwise, you guys are just going to look at each other.
Guy across the street from me, they're like on the diagonal. The guy across the street from me is a nightmare. Classic neighbor nightmare. Old guy, doesn't let anyone park in front of his house, comes out there with a blower, blows all his shit all over our stuff. It's crazy. I had a guy from like a TV company come in and put in a new cable wire, and he parked in front of my house, and the guy came out and knocked on his door and goes, "What are you doing parking here?" Old man, he's like 90 years old. And the guy's like, "I'm working." He's like, "You can't park on this street. No parking on the street. You got to park in the driveways." And the guy's like, "Get out of here, old man." I shoot him away. And he looked at me. He's never said a word to me. I've been living here for 3 years. I'm seeing him right now. He's doing some yard work.
He's got to be on the HOA or something. How's your guys' HOA?
We don't have it's just it's a village. So, I mean, you pay like a village tax, which doesn't really go towards that. It's just like the village tax basically says like we have like our own private security that drives around the town and like checks to make sure that like no one's parked on the street. No one parking on the street's a big thing out in Suffolk. Like they like the fact that you drive down the streets and there's no cars on the streets, which is totally different from where I grew up in East Meadow, Nassau County. It's like you can barely drive down the street with your car. Mm-hmm. There's so many cars in the driveways and the streets. It's like your prototypical house, and a million cars. Like if you're not paying attention, you're going to ding one of them. My dad thinks that someone used to come around with a hammer and just smash his mirror, because every morning he'd come outside of his house and look, and his mirror would be smashed. And so it got to the point where he was getting just little glass and he was just taping it onto the mirror just to get to Borrelli's. That guy's a mess. Absolute mess. He's nonstop, my dad. My dad's nonstop. The other day, he delivered food for the pickleball event out in Smithtown. He stayed for 4 hours to make sure everyone got food, and he brought 11 trays, 5 Italian huge heroes, like 10-foot heroes, 5 of them. We're like, this is too much food here. It's only 120 people here. It's crazy. He stayed all day, made sure all the sternos were firing off, put all the water in them. He looked exhausted. Then I was like, all right, you going home to watch the Yankees? He's like, yeah, I'm going home to watch the Yankees. I text him during the Yankee game, like, what do you do? Are you watching this game? He's like, no, I'm at Garden Social, the place right down the block from his house. I'm making pizzas for them. They had a party here. I got the pizza truck outside from 9 o'clock till 1 o'clock in the morning. Ooh. He had to go back to Borrelli's, get more dough because it was sold out. I'm like, Dad, you got to go to sleep. This is insane.
He's
this
a hero.
Is crazy.
He's a hero.
65 years old. Heart surgery. Go to sleep. Go to a beach. Like, go do something.
I know.
He is a hero.
God.
He's a hardworking hero, man.
He's
part of his DNA.
My God.
He's a hero.
Yeah.
Trent, who was that?
Too much.
Lawn care guys.
Oh.
No lasagna.
What are they? They're just checking on the lawn?
They're mowing it.
So they're going to knock on the door every time they do that?
No, I hadn't met him before.
Okay.
So
that would be a nuisance.
No. This is the first time they've been out here. So
nice.
It was actually nice. It's like, hey.
Trim the hedges.
Like, yeah.
Was that like you? Did you initiate that? The lawn care people? Or was that was like recommended to you when you moved in?
Recommended to me when I moved in. Essentially, this place that I have, cord on the wall.
Shout out to that cord.
It's normally an Airbnb, but I was like, I'll take it for the year. And they're like, done. Nice. So it's got everything. It's furnished. It's got internet. It's got everything I would need. It's a house that you would normally vacation at. Not that it's a vacation like on the beach home, but it's just a house that has everything in it. So I moved in and I'm like, I can live here now.
That's right. You have a pool.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's nice.
Mm-hmm. It was nice.
Did you bring your own like bedding in? or did you just took the one that was there?
So far, I've just because my stuff is being moved down not across the country, but down the eastern seaboard. So my stuff is all in there, and it hasn't arrived yet. So, but it's supposed to get here this
Yeah,
week.
what kind of window
So
they
I'll
give
bring
you
all
for
my
that
own stuff.
arrival time? Because that could be
A month.
It's a big window to get
Yeah,
your whole life down the eastern seaboard.
But I'm happy to moving is. I'm happy to pay.
Mhm.
You know, that's a service that is so good. Like when I was moving back and forth Long Island into the city, like that's obviously guys get in a truck, they load everything and they bringing it again down the side of the country.
Crazy.
Take my money. I'm not doing that.
No.
Take my money.
Bake it into the price of whatever the move is, just like you're saying with the tickets.
100%.
Just be like, if it's $20,000 move, it's now 22.
That's crazy, but
I don't know. I'm just saying the whole thing, like renting a house, whatever the whole entire deal is. I don't know what the number is, right?
Like how
if
long
it's
would
a
it have taken?
$400,000 move, make it 402.
I hear you. If we're talking about like services that just like full throttle remodel, how long would that have taken you to do it by yourself?
They vaulted ceilings in a garage. I don't even know how to do that. They put electric in, they put lights in. The things they did in my basement, I thought were undoable. They put in a new wall with a TV wall and sound system. It's impossible. It's like asking me to invent plastic. I don't know how to do it.
Same with me moving. We create jobs. These people have these skills and they want to use them, and you pay them money and it happens. That's a beautiful thing. Speaking
of things that we don't know how to do, I got to bring this up. Thank you for reminding me. And we talk about our travel issues a lot, which is a pain for people to listen to. But the thing we do is travel. It's like we're always on a plane.
We are a bit like those 90s hack comedians that are like, yeah, airplane food.
I know. It's like, crazy though. We live in airplanes. We live in them. So the Yankees were on, and we had a lot of stuff going on. The Yankees are on, the Islanders are on, the whole deal. I'm flying back from Hawaii, and United, which we don't ever take. We take Delta, but Delta, I guess, sold this flight to United. The first leg from Kauai to San Francisco was a United flight. Even though it was on my Delta, it was on my Delta app, but it was a United flight. I guess they partner in certain ways whenever there's whatever. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the business behind that is, but that's what happened. And so we had Wi-Fi going out. Me and Trent, I know for a fact because we were watching the Mets and we were watching the Jets and we were watching the Islanders. Trent and I had Wi-Fi from LA to Hawaii over the Pacific Ocean. We're flying over the Pacific Ocean again from Kauai to San Francisco, and we have no Wi-Fi. And I'm sitting in my seat, and the lady comes up to me, and I said, "Oh, the Wi-Fi is not working." And she actually said with a smirk and a laugh, she goes, "There's no internet over the Pacific." And then kind of looked to her coworker and was like, "Can you believe this guy?" And walked away. And I went, "Oh, there's no internet on the Pacific." I'm looking around. She dominated me, and the guy looks at me to my right, and he's like, "Yeah, you didn't know that?" I'm like, "What's happening right now?"
Okay, so I have a story if we're going to share the flying over the Pacific internet story. I flew from Kauai to Oakland over the Pacific. I had internet. Yeah. I had Starlink, dude.
Oh,
I don't know if it's the same Starlink as Elon.
It is.
But if it is, all right, if it is, then I'm ready to talk about Elon and I'm ready to compliment him because...
Was it pure?
Dude, it was pure. Yeah. Fastest I've ever had. Dude. Fastest I've ever had ground or air. Swear to God.
Ground,
dude.
Ground or air. And it's getting 200 megs. What?
Dude, and it's free and you just connect right to it when you get on the plane.
Dude, this guy's got something going on, I'm telling you. I just saw he's trying to unload 20,000 of them or something like that. The whole entire outer space, the orbit's going to just be Starlink. It should be. Dude, yeah, she's like, "We don't get internet." There's some old hag was like, "We don't get internet over the ocean." And I'm like, well, you don't know the internet then, because I'm thinking, don't we get the internet from satellites? And then people on Twitter are like, "Are you a dumbass? We get no." You know that guy on Instagram who goes,
"You'll see how?"
Yeah. Oh, you don't see how? He does the English language. What the fuck's that guy's name, man? God, I gotta find that. Alex Bush, can you play a couple of this guy's Instagram videos? I don't know him. He does the English language and he'll write glow and then he'll relate and it'll be how the word isn't the word. It should be this word. You know exactly who I'm talking about.
I actually don't.
Fuck you.
I'm trying to find.
No, hold on. I gotta find this guy. Oh, here he is. It's called It's Bobby Finn. BOBBYFINN. This fucking guy cracks me up.
He's so funny.
Dude, you got to find one with like him writing. It's got to be like, I'll send you one. English class. Yeah. This is great. Dude, he does numbers. He does absolute numbers. 40 million views. What are you
Also,
fucking nuts?
didn't he DM you like 5 years ago?
Yes. I looked at our DMs and he has like he was trying to get a job at Barstool, I think. I'll send this to you, Alex. Anyway, I don't know why I was bringing that up. But because someone was like, no, you get it from the ground. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I thought always like the most incredible part of the internet was that it goes out to space and comes back to your phone within milliseconds. And like we were able to just kind of do this whole entire thing. But apparently it was hitting like phone lines and cable wires and all these things. And then someone said that it's hit Starlink now. So Starlink's one of the first people that are becoming these satellites. Anyway, Bobby Finn. It's Bobby Finn. This guy's fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah, it's not gonna work because he's doing it on a whiteboard. Scrap it. It's not gonna work.
That does make sense though, right? The words get and gel, they're both spelt the same way. So like one of them's gel. He's like, no, do you not understand? It's a g. And she's like, well, the other one was a j. He's like, no, it's a g for
It
get.
basically it teaches
like,
you
but
how
it should be
impossible
gel.
Yeah, the English language
And
sucks.
he's like, no, it's gel.
Like we are very lucky to have just grown up in it, and then people who try to learn it are like, "What
There's
is
no
this?"
rules.
Nate Bargatze, his George Washington skit is just going to end up becoming an all-time SNL
It's a
skit.
recurring.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Because he's done it twice now, and the second one is funnier than the first one, where he's like, "We're going to come up with a number, a word for for 12, for the number 12. We're going to call it a dozen." They're like, "What other numbers are we going to have words for?" He's like, "None of them,
none of
just
them.
just a dozen."
That he made me. I actually thought of him during our earlier conversation about TGL, where like how many people are watching SNL when it happens on Saturday night anymore?
Not many, I don't think.
Nobody. That's traditional media.
Yeah.
That's like I used to watch it when I was a kid, but I was a kid in the 90s, and those days are long gone. But then if you look at those clips on YouTube, they have 20 million
Yeah.
views because people the
could do
next
both.
day are like, "Let me look at this shit."
Yeah, you could do both, which is
You could
actually
do
nice.
both. I was thinking that too, and we don't have to go all the way back into it, but it is funny. Like if ESPN just had a platform where videos lived, we'd be talking about the same thing. It's just that YouTube has a place where all these videos go.
Yeah, but
We're
ESPN has an Instagram that like does billions of views a month. Like the Juan Soto clip probably has 20 million views yesterday. Like
Right.
they still put out. We're acting like it's like we're traditional media and we don't go on any of this face news.
But I
Like,
wonder
there's-
how their YouTube videos do is my question.
Oh, I don't know about YouTube, but I know social media they're crushing.
Yeah.
it.
For sure. But we're talking about videos living somewhere, like full videos.
You can do both. You can do both.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you.
All right.
But yeah, he goes, a child's first year of school will be called kindergarten. They're like, what's the second year going to be called? First grade. And he's just looking out. They're like,
So good.
why? Why? I don't understand.
The fact that he's getting like called back to do SNL is, again, I know SNL isn't what it was, but it's pretty fucking unbelievable
That guy's great.
that he's getting to do that.
All right, gentlemen. Anybody think of anything else to discuss?
I don't think so.
Trying to think. I usually look through like my photos. I got photos of bread.
You got photos of bread.
Yeah, my dad made bread yesterday.
I'll say,
Homemade
I saw
bread.
that.
you guys did that Honolulu to Kauai flight on the way in, right?
No, we went LA to Kauai.
Me and Francis went Kauai to Honolulu, and it was unequivocally the shortest flight I've ever been on, and it wasn't even close. It was.
It's got to be like 10
They hadn't
minutes.
even stopped, or they hadn't even done the seatbelt off thing yet, and the pilot comes on and goes, "We've begun our initial descent into Honolulu." Like we legitimately were just taking off. It was like 10 or 15 minutes. It was insane.
I am prepared to triple down and quadruple down on my hate for red eyes. I could do it if I could sleep on planes, but I can't, and it makes it an insomniatic nightmare. I'm an insane person flying through the air at 3 a.m. where everybody else is sleeping and I'm wide eyed looking in front of me. Frankie and I have been arguing about red eyes versus not red eyes for 5
Gets you
years
home
now.
faster. Just gets you there.
I get it. I don't want to argue about it right now, but but in my personal situation where I tried to fall asleep, I did everything in my power and I still couldn't. It's something about like my body. I can't get in a comfortable enough position where my body's like, let's drift. Here we go. It's time. We're doing the thing. I just can't do it. And I landed in Florida at like noon after flying for 24 hours. And I was crazy. I was insane. I was just like, get me down, put me down. And I finally got home and passed out for like 6 hours. But red eyes, no bueno for
I
your
was
boy.
doing the math like while I was at the pickleball event, and I was like, wearing this outfit. I was telling people I got ready for this day at 9 a.m. in Kauai, Hawaii on Friday, and it's now 6 p.m. on Saturday. Like I haven't stopped since leaving that hotel and getting to the airport, getting on a plane, waiting at San Francisco for 4 hours for my layover, and then like getting here to this event. I'm still like, I woke up 38 hours ago is what I was telling people. That was a tough 2 days, that's something. But I stayed up the Yankees. I stayed up for the Yankees. I stayed up for the Islanders.
You did that.
Oh, I felt great. And I slept yesterday. I slept in until maybe like 9:30 and I was ready to rock. Watched the Jets last night get absolutely dismantled.
Yep.
The Mets miracle season has come to an end. Just
it's over.
The gyms, man, the Jets, Islanders, and Mets. Duclair for the Islanders, they've got a lot of promise, and then he's out for like most of the year now with a groin injury. It's just like everything. Jets get Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers, and they get blown out. It's like the Mets lose in the NLCS. It's crazy. It's never ending. It's
a bummer.
Misery.
Tough.
Mm-hmm.
Misery.
Mm-hmm. But your Yankees, I mean, they're in the World Series, so. With football season in full swing, I think this is a perfect time to talk about the MVP of golf carts, Easy Go vehicles. I would not want a golf cart that's benched or that's imperfect or that is inferior, which is what you're going to get with any other brand other than Easy Go. You're going to want the best in the business. I've had an Easy Go for years now, and it is awesome. It's eye-popping. It's head-turning. You drive that thing around town, and people love it. It's got cool rims that are customized. You can get speakers in the thing. You can get cool tires. You can get all kinds of technology in there that just makes it more fun to drive around in your golf cart. We love Easy Go golf carts. They're the best.
And they really are the most trusted name in golf carts. You go to any golf course, and they're probably going to be Easy Go. You haven't noticed that, but now you will. You look down and be like, what kind of golf cart is this? Oh, it's Easy Go. Every golf course I go to, I now check it like what the carts are, and it's almost always Easy Go. These things are very reliable. Like Riggs said, they're customizable. You can get one yourself, drive it around the neighborhood, drive it around your local golf course. These things are they're the best.
They're beautiful, and especially these off-roading ones where they're made for a community. Like Riggs is in Pinehurst, and Trent is trying to get his. That you can drive them on the golf course, but also they look perfectly normal and actually unbelievably cool when you're taking them to go get coffee, or you're taking them to just go get something inside the town. It's great that it's such a versatile golf cart. Like they really are changing. It's essentially a car. This thing, it's incredible.
And you can get one because we're giving them away. So we're gonna hook one of our listeners up with one of these bad boys. It's easy. All you got to do go to barstoolclassic.com/easygosweeps and you just enter for a chance to win. That is barstoolclassic.com/easygosweeps. barstoolclassic.com/easygosweeps. Enter to win a brand new Easy Go Express S4.
Oh.
Whoa, what do you got?
Glenny Balls just texted me back.
He knows.
Rufus at Home Solutions is the best in the business.
Rufus at Home Solutions.
That's what.
Rufus at Home Solutions. I knew he'd have it.
Go follow Full Throttle Remodel. Tell him Frankie sent you. Especially if you're on Long Island. I'm telling you, man. These guys are the best. The best. The best. Johnny.
Oh. They got a good deal here on this pod.
Full Throttle.
Dude, they're great. I just like when people go out there and just like get it done. Like these are just two kids that like made a business.
Yeah.
That shit always resonates with me. They don't sit on their ass. They're not waiting for handouts. They're not like complaining that like it's really hard in this economy to like do. They're just fucking working their ass off.
Doing it, man.
When I went out to go golf and like do our job and come back, they had sweat and spackle and paint all over them, and they're like, "We're just gonna fucking grind this thing out, and we're gonna get this done." And no matter what I threw at them, they got it done. So yeah, it's an ad, but it's like I didn't need it. I fucking paid the guys. Like we didn't do a deal. I just genuinely love these guys.
No, I respect the shit out of that. And we're such like pampered pussies. We're just doing podcasts and we're shooting golf videos. And then there's guys who are doing real work. And now that I own a house,
and like you'll see Trent too. I mean, you're not allowed to put holes in your walls, but like you want to start doing projects. You want to like learn things. Like I don't know. I just got a new shower head. I don't know how to take a shower head off, and I'm about to try right when I get off this podcast to try and do it. I got a new filtered shower head. It's supposed to be incredible. I think Instagram just sold it to me. based off of like trying to like not lose your hair and get your skin.
I just
clear
got
and
a
everything,
new
but
like air
just-
pump. So I've been sold this through Instagram of like
yeah,
a handheld air pump. So you don't
Water
have to, yeah,
pressure?
you don't have to drive all the way up to the gas station and then put your credit card in and then do the thing where it gives you the PSI. I was
Wow.
like targeted and it's $35 and I feel like it's the best thing I've ever bought in my life.
this Instagram ad was basically like it shows an old eroded rusty pipe, and it's like, this is what your water is going through, regardless of how new your shower looks on the outside. The water is traveling through 50, 60-year-old pipes, and that's so true, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you're just letting it just spout on you, and it's like, get a filtration system. Why do you get a filter for the water you drink? Why not get a filter for the water that goes onto you, right? And like they can put vitamins in it and all this shit. It's obviously bullshit, but I bought it and I'm gonna go figure it out. I'm gonna be fucking showering in fucking vitamins today.
I just think to 600 years ago when they were just in ponds
They
and
also
rivers.
lived until like they were 30.
I'm with you. I'm no judgment. This isn't an attack, but I'm just saying.
It's true.
And then
That's what I was
hundreds
thinking
of
about
years
when I
later,
said
Frankie's like,
bullshit.
I want vitamins to come out of that thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And then I'm gonna go eat like queso and Moe's and shit, and it's like, well, you're kind of doing opposite things here.
Food's killing us for sure.
All right, guys.
That'll do it.
We'll throttle remodel, baby. All right. We'll be back on
Wow.
we'll be back on Thursday. It's a great name, dude. That is just an excellent name.
It's an amazing name.
It really goes to show like how far a good name can go. Because if it had been just like full throttle, not like that was it. If just full throttle, I wouldn't give a
Remodel, dude.
fuck
No,
about
we would have
that.
never mentioned it again.
Full throttle
Yeah.
remodel.
All right. We'll be back Thursday. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.